Indeed, grand finals time here at the ESL UK Premiership. Now, I'm so excited for this one. I'm sure you are as well, Kai and I. What are your first initial thoughts, Ix? We're about to go live, so there's not too much time, but just give me the overview that you're looking at here.
Basically, I think Infused might be able to take Cash. Like we covered earlier, Cash is Infused's favorite map. But Team Xenex, they've had more practice than this Infused side, simply because G went and joined a European side and he wasn't around for much, and Team Infused didn't really get as much practice for this event as they'd have liked. So I can definitely see the other maps going in favour, like Mirage, like Cobblestone, in Xenex. And talking about Xenex, at the moment, they're falling like flies. Rattlesnake and Mole, the last two, still alive as G tries to dodge these bullets at the back of the B bomb site. He's got Red Snake to the left of him as well. So it's all happening here on the B bomb site. 1 versus 2. And what can Rattlesnake do in this situation here?
Well, Hudgy's so low. He's down to 1 HP. If he can remove that one aspect, that'd be massive. And considering he's got the bomb here, Rattlesnake is kind of trying to bait out that rotate. Say, okay, I'm going to take so much time that it almost throws you off. But he will slowly edge there, drop out the smoke behind him, and get himself away. He will be able to get a plant here. And this will just bring the situation further into his favor. You can see Red Snake already starting to go hunting, already starting to have the initiative to think, he's definitely not B. There we go. There's the alarm bells ringing. And now can Rattlesnake define this to 2 1v1s? That's what he wants. And Hudgy might be the first on the chopping board. 1 bullet would have done it. Rattlesnake now has the information and looks elsewhere. Will he have the time though? Red Snake now pushing in. He's got the defuse kit. No, it's Hudgy to watch him on the cross. 4 kills that round to begin with. That is the perfect start for Hudgy. And the defuse will comfortably come in and Team Infused win round 1.
Yeah, very, very well played from Hudgy. He was in a very tough situation on that B bomb site, but that's all he needs. A player of his quality, all he needs is to hang on to 1 HP, and he can still get them frags. And Team Xenex probably not going to be too disappointed with losing that pistol round. Cash is a very evenly sided map. So Team Infused now, they're the team with the big weapons, a few FAMASs, a few MP7s taken out. So we'll most likely see Infused win this round, win the next round when Team Xenex find themselves on an eco. But one thing to bear in mind is that Xenex haven't invested in armor, so they could be looking to force the buy up come the 3rd round. Keep your eye on it. Or they might be saving for an AWP.
So many possibilities. We'll have to make sure we take note in round 3, but currently we see a lot of SMGs watching this angle, and you can see just on the other side, 5 players ready to go. Counter smoke goes in. Quick flash, but is it quick enough? The switch up comes out. It's Red Snake raining it in. Infused cleaning house, not even losing a player. That's a great round coming in for them. Now, Xenex, you said there could be the AWP purchase they may be looking for or the early investment. And I think you're right. You're spot on there. We've already got the AKs coming to play. Shiki, yeah, he's got a Galil, but that's a good investment here. It
is, and the question at hand is, have Infused noticed that Team Xenex didn't invest heavily into that last round? They should have noticed because only 1 smoke came in. So obviously they can't tell whether their opponents had armor or not, but the fact that they went down so easily to the submachine guns should really be a clue for them. And AKs up against MP7s and FAMASs, there's always going to be one winner, and that's the AK. But again, it's not just about the weapon, it's about the player behind the weapon. So let's see how the round will unfold for Xenex.
And the thing my eyes get drawn to on the CT side, they still have these SMGs that, hey, they're great when there's a team against you with no armor and no possibility, but look at Mole. Oh, if Red Snake steps too far, he's going to be flashed in, but he doesn't realize, and that should have given Mole the kill. Somehow, Red Snake's still alive, but can they make anything out of this now? Mole going hunting, Red Snake coming out on top, but Hudgy's picking it up now. 2 for 2 exchange. Bomb is in mid. Bomb going to be a little bit cautious here. They still know that there's players present on A. Aaron is one of them. He's going to peek around the corner. JT falls, and it's another exchange. Back and forth we go. A huge disparity from the previous game, but Mole taking it in his own hands to bring the A site under control. Now it's just Zed left standing. How much can he achieve here with this MP7?
Well, Xenex have no idea that he's flanking from main, but no, Mole has caught onto it. They've spotted him now. All he can do really is pop flash out, try and change his position, and try and get as up close as possible to these Ts, because that's when this submachine gun will be at its most dangerous. And he's very close to Pulse, but he fought Mole first, and the AK wins the battle. And Team Xenex finally have got their first round on the board. Good stuff.
Yeah, that early investment really working out well for them, kind of bucking the trend of those 3 rounds back-to-back we've been seeing actually being quite predominant in this tournament, which is quite rare almost in the bigger meta, where you see those Tech 9 purchases coming in. The CZs, on the other hand, they can make so much a difference. And now, we pretty much have almost the initial gun round. We do have the AWP in play with Zed here. He's going to be working with that one over at B. something we saw fairly regularly in their previous game, in their semi-final, something he liked to do. But quite a lot of presence over towards the A side from the CTs. 3 players playing quite close towards it. We've got Red Snake and Aaron, and I can imagine Critical was a little closer. But resetting, and it might be a late mid boost coming out for Mol.
Xenex need to keep the pressure up at mid because they need to try and keep Critical away from the A bomb site as that 3rd player. They need to try and isolate him at mid. We saw how much of a crucial player he was against Easy Skins when they did push the A bomb site. So as we can see now, we've got Shiki at mid, just making sure they can keep Critical at bay and he doesn't rotate over towards the A bomb site if an A push should come in.
And I love how aware Team Xenex already are. They know that they like to do those boosts in towards those vents. They're not going to have the opportunity for it this time. Critical taking the long route around, giving up mid control. That will gift it over towards the T side. Bomb is edging in, but there's 3 players ready and waiting here. Hudshi is one. Right up close and personal, and already the kills are coming in. Hudshi hasn't even had to move a muscle just yet, but it's all coming up good for them, barring Shiki making a little bit of damage.
Got Zed and Critical in left-hand man. Shiki wraps around, Critical comes in, jumping headshot from Shiki, great play. And it was a 3 versus 1, it's now 2 versus 1. He's got the bomb down, and he hears Red Snake's footsteps. Looks to the right, down goes Aaron, but so close, but not close enough for Shiki. Manages 4 frags, so close to the ace, but it is going to be another Infused round. And if Infused had lost that, it would have broken their economy. And they're going to pick up an AWP as well. Meanwhile, Team Xenex, Shiki in particular, is going to be gutted after that.
Yeah, honestly, especially when he peeked just towards CT, when the smoke was still in play. Obviously, we have X-ray on, we can see the silhouettes. He was perfectly predicting where he was, but obviously you can't just make a random shot. He took the one on the right, it paid off, but sadly not enough towards benefiting the round. So 3-1 overall, Xenex not quite making a massive impact just yet, and we're seeing this kind of mix-match fire. And this might be the smokes that were kind of being discussed by Henry G in the desk a little earlier. Maybe not coupled completely on towards the other side. I think there has been a later one, and it will allow them some access towards the vents, but already there and waiting. We have players just instantly eyes on, instantly looking for it, and this mid control is not really working out too well.
No, but the fact that they do have vents control means that B may always be an option. They know Zed's at Z, but Aaron falls, and they've got Zed who's playing now from quad with the AWP, watching down mid. He knows that Xenex have this mid control, and if he can get one more frag, then he might open up the A bomb site for them. But no, they're heading towards B. They're trying to utilize that vents control, but unfortunately they haven't utilized it well enough. And Hoods G hiding in that corner. There's the 5-7 frag, and JT will fall as well. 4-1.
Yeah, Infused starting to look very dominating, and this seems like a very different Infused. You saw how present previously Critical was in mid all the time. He'd barely ever back away from it. He'd never quite leave it. But now you'll see him, rotate the long way around, back up by truck, go round CT, and just say, okay, well, if you're going to take that, I'll just support where we assume you're going to go. I'll get myself early B, I'll get myself early A. And they're just reading the game very well at the moment. I've got to give credit towards the CT side. And now the T's not a great deal to work with, but Shiki coming out strong, finding Critical through the smoke, just predicting the placement. And now, well, they can't get hold of the gun, but maybe they can then add some pressure here towards A.
Yeah, if they can kill one of these CTs, pick up the weapon, and even save it for the next round at this point, because there's only 3 of them, then happy days for them. But it is so difficult when not only are you just on a Glock, but you've got no armor as well.
How has Shiki got here, though?
Could be fragged Critical, and they didn't adjust.
Well, that could be an error. Thankfully, though, Aaron does deal with Rattlesnake, and Shiki can take no further steps. And this looks like Infused being very clinical, very on point. They're not giving any room to breathe. And, well, so far, the T side yet to really run with an ult. We're not seeing much of it, just those 5 rifles. They really didn't have the cash to do much with this yet. But so far, what are we making of the T side from Xenex? Is there any issues you're seeing, or is it just closing out the rounds has not been in their favor?
Well, to be fully honest, we haven't seen that many gun rounds from Xenex yet. Even though it looks very one-sided when you look at the scoreboard, this is cash, right? So 5-1, this is their gun round. Let's judge Xenex after this round. If they fail to win this one and they find themselves 6-1 down and probably on a 4-spy or an eco, that's when they should really be worried. But this is actually something that Ross covered on the analyst desk. They're not careful here at Xenex. They need to watch their back because Aaron might be able to slaughter them here in the back of A main, and he just runs out of bullets.
He should have done better than that. He had the perfect sitting target. Just sadly couldn't deliver. But they did see the bomb. They got great information gathered. So Off the back of that, let's see what the CT side does. Still holding fairly static, not over-rotating. Zed has put himself up in towards middle, kind of alleviating some of Critical's role, who's now on this B site. So T side very much slowing down, looking for maybe a late A, possibly with these smokes going through, one towards that MBK corner, kind of covering off quad, and then not quite pushing off the back of it. Is this going to be one of those slower plays, those fake plays we saw being discussed, or will they just go for that late execute here?
Judging by the bomb's position, it is going to be a fake. Shiki just putting smoke out there towards short just to try and sell the A fake a little bit more. And you know what? Infused have gone down, bought this fake. There's 3 of them here on the A bomb site, leaving Critical all by himself. He's going to get bombarded by these Xenex players coming in. Gets one, can't get the second, and the bomb site is now at Team Xenex's mercy. They're going to plant. It's a good plant as well, but HudsG and Red Snake, they need to make sure they try to retake this bomb site together, not pushing one by one like that.
Yeah, huge error being made then, allowing Mole to make a real nuisance of himself now. JT up against HudsG, 1v1. JT spots out HudsG, kind of edge his way around, gets a jump, no! HudsG denies it somehow, comes in, gets the defuse, and even though those mistakes were made earlier, allowing Mole into this, giving them the situation, you can see the grin on his face. He knew he's played that out well, and that's keeping Infused at such a huge scoreline, 6-1 here.
Honestly, that just came down to quality individual play from HudsG. His aim was on point, and these players, they spent hours and hours playing deathmatch on a weekly and daily basis just so that they can win 1-versus-1 situations like that, where it just comes down to outbraining your opponent and making sure that your aim is on point. But because Xenex have lost so many consecutive rounds, they can still afford to buy. Good for them. They are on the more cheaper T side, and one thing that's worked with them quite a lot is getting control of mid. But Team Infused, this is the dynamic setup that they do. HudsG is now in vents, they've got Red Snake behind sandbags as well, and someone, I think that's Critical, who's quick on the rotation towards short. So if Team Xenex do decide to execute towards mid, they're going to have a lot of Team Infused players to deal with.
They certainly will, and this mid play's not working out so well. Infused are just throwing bodies at it, but somehow Mole does find Critical. Still a player at sandbag. I think that's Red Snake just putting their little pop flash up and over, but the bomb is still stuck here. Rattlesnake so low on HP as well, trying to get out of there, trying to get a little room to breathe. Somehow JT also finds a little bit of an open towards A. He's got some control. They are putting the bomb towards it. They can turn this one around, even though Rattlesnake and Mole are very low.
And the plant here, they're planting for main, which will allow the terrorists to fall back to A main, but Zed,
Mole didn't hear it.
I think Mole will have called it. If
Mole
hasn't called it, there it is. JT knew it was coming. Good teamwork there from Xenex. And HudsG now, he's probably going to try and get an exit frag onto Mole at mid. Obviously, may have a hitch that he's there, or he could just fall back to CT spawn or towards a B bomb site and try and hold on to this AK-47. But even though it's now going to be 6-2, Team Infused, they're still in the driving seat, they're still in a very strong position, and they've still got a lot of money to work with.
Certainly do, and HudsG should be able to keep this one well under control. Not really being pressured. Xenex can't really afford to lose out on too much. Their money is not phenomenal. They don't have a big bank to work with just yet, as they have only got those 2 rounds on the board. They haven't been too fluent, but they do now have the mollies. They could put those in towards the vents to kind of remove the threat that HudsG has had, and considering he's got the guy with the AK, I wouldn't be surprised to see some of that put towards it very early on.
Yeah, he is heading towards a B bomb site with this AK-47, but he's going to fall back with it. And if he pushed the B bomb site, he'd notice that there's only one Xenex player outside the B bomb site, and that it is going to be back to place an A push. But then again, CT's only on pistols, easy spray down for a player of Shiki's quality, and now they're just going to run into Critical here with the P250. Gets one, surely not going to get a second. Or is he?
Never know, Critical. Sadly, he'll be found in the end. And HudsG is among the wolves, though. He's going to walk into the den and just manage to find Mole, but that's about all he'll get. And the bomb will be planted, guarded, and the T side do get another. And now looking at the economy over on the CT side, it's not the best in the world, but it's enough to build a buy with. They've still got 6.7k on HudsG. And there's been very few AWPs, but this is the one I've been looking for. Rattlesnake had a big performance yesterday utilizing this weapon, and I want to see him find that form again today.
Yeah, of course, that performance. He looked very shaky on DDoS 2, but he looked phenomenal on Inferno. So let's see if he can replicate that form here on Cash, or how his look will be on this map. He spotted the player at Zed, so he's going to smoke it out now to allow him to focus onto short, because it's very difficult when you are this mid-AWPer to have to deal with CTs potentially shooting you from your left and your right as well.
And look at the pressure they're putting onto Just Critical. He's getting flashed and controlled from mid. He's got JT coming out of Squeaky, just keeping him always, just never feeling comfortable. However, the two players up on the A site, still holding good control here. And the CT side really aren't giving much for the Ts to work with. There's no easy openers here. There's no easy way to crack this side in. So
it's always so difficult when the CT play so passive and hide. One thing they might do is try and take Rattlesnake's AWP towards A main, see if he can get an opener onto quad, but there is the player again, Critical. He got the frag from short, that call should have come in, and now Rattlesnake knows that he may have fallen back, but he saw the silencer, he knows he's there.
Look at this caution though, he knows, he needed to land that, comes back out with a P250, does get the shot off, immediately checking towards quad. But Red Snake's not peeking. He doesn't want to have any of that. If there's a player with an AWP, you can tell he's predicting. He's expecting maybe some pressure there. But Rattlesnake already turning their attention with his team towards the B side. Bomb edging over. There's still two players here though. This could be tough.
This is what we were talking about earlier. The CTs need to stay passive and not show anything because Rattlesnake's AWP is going to be crucial, and he knows now, him and his teammates, that the CTs are going bonkers on this B bomb site. There's not much he can do. He lacks so much versatility with the AWP. Zed here's Mole coming in. He will get the frag, and it's just a matter of preventing Rattlesnake from saving the AWP, and they can't do that.
Real shame. They had the opportunity then, but Critical just denying that peek from Squeaky was huge. It meant that Critical could then focus onto mid. Rattlesnake eventually took him down, but by that point they just seemed to lose focus, and it always seems that Infused has so many bodies on the site. Wherever they are, they're reading it very, very well. And 7-3 as a scoreline, is this something that will, appease one side more than the other? Will the CT side be more happy with this, or is this something they'd be expecting to get?
No, definitely. 7-3 at the moment is quite one-sided for what we normally expect to see on Cash. And again, it's Aaron, the X1.6 man, to get the opening frag. Such a crucial player as well. Shiki, he's normally the entry fragger for the Xenex side. So once the entry frag is down, you have to ask yourself the question where the rest of the frag is going to come from. And especially with Xenex, 3 of them only being on pistols, it's difficult to see where those frags are going to begin.
Already 3 players on towards A from Infused. Critical has now joined them. Rattlesnake, some fair control into mid, but you can already see them kind of positioning around that. They have players fairly aware that he might make that peek, and Aaron doesn't want to peek again. He knows now the position that, well, maybe they're pushing in towards, but Rattlesnake has a lot of room to move here, and the T side might be able to upset a little something if he can start landing these shots, if he can maybe zone out these B players. He just heard Zed. He does get the shot off. Beautiful work from Rattlesnake then, but can he make any more? The bomb is en route. Will they expect Hudgy to still be lurking here?
I think Huds knows what's coming now. He knows that Rattlesnake has dropped Zed, so Xenex have realized, hold on a sec, guys, Team Infused won't have rotated over from A because Rattlesnake was in CT spawn, and now the rest of the troops most certainly are going to be scourging in towards this B bomb side, but it's too slow from Xenex. They've given Infused time to rotate around. Pulse is on his last thread. In fact, he is now dead. He hits the floor. Mole with just a P250 to try and hold on, and after he drops, it's going to be all down to Rattlesnake and his AWP.
He's got to go big here. That's a great start. He needed to land the second shot, and now Mole in the impossible situation will be dealt with, and it looks so close to being on them.
One thing Xenex needs to bear in mind is how easy Rattlesnake was able to actually infiltrate that CT spawn area. And obviously the CT side need to be wary that doesn't happen again. So maybe questions will get asked of Critical. But what happened was, one of the players got fragged on the A-bomb site, and Critical just basically rotated round, which then left mid open. Normally in a situation like that, one of the B players rotates around to mid to sort of solidify the setup a lot more. So a mistake there from Infused that, without a doubt, an in-game leader like Rattlesnake won't forget.
It's something that was discussed even in the player interview on stage. Rattlesnake is a very vocal man when it comes to his expectations, and you can see why he can deliver any single time of the day. And now Critical trying to adjust for it, already going to get up on towards just that catwalk above. Flash him out, Molly comes down, they're starting to pull players in towards this A site. 3 now present, the T side not fully committed, the bomb's still not there. Little pop flash towards quad, and now Red Snake up on top, catching out Rattlesnake. This is surprising. And well, Xenex pulling in the kills here.
Yeah, they know that there's only 2 CTs left and where the mass majority of the frags happen, so they're just going to pick up the bomb, rotate back round to B, try and plant it over there. And realistically speaking, Red Snake and Aaron are probably just going to save here even after the bomb goes down.
Even now, Xenex so careful on doing this, because how many times have they been caught out now by one player still being here? Mostly it's been Hudgy, who's actually doing really quite well for himself overall. He's still top of the board, so you can see the impact just one player has had that just let's say 5 seconds of additional caution, just still put out the smokes, still put out the controlling elements, just to make sure that these two aren't too close by. But Xenex will be able to keep at least an AWP, and I wonder if they're going to go back to the double if Aaron can come around and assist him as well and take those into the next round.
Yeah, if they do go for the double AWP setup, we most likely will see one at mid, maybe on critical. He'll watch boost and mid, and maybe then rotate to short and watch anyone coming from the squeaky door, and then maybe give the other one to Zed or HudsG over towards the B bomb site and have him play as a lone AWPer, maybe boost the other into vents and have him on the quick rotation towards B. But as things stand right now, it's the correct decision from Infused. Even though it is going to be 8-4, they are still in a relatively comfortable position financially. It's going to be a tough buy for them, but I'd like to see Red Snake and Aaron maybe drop the odd thing here and there, the odd FAMAS here and there, see the others invest in armor. They don't have to go for helmets because it's not actually that effective up against the AK-47s. So yeah, they are going to force it up, they are going to buy it up. And positionally, this could still work for them. You can't rule it out just yet.
So they've given this over to Critical, who doesn't have armor, yet Zed's been the one to play this most of the time. So maybe feeling that Critical can do enough here and Zed does need to play somewhere else. It's a curious switch up.
And he's rotated over to B rather than short. Zed's gone back to short. Or mid.
Yeah, so Zed's playing mid. They basically switched around now that Critical has the AWP in hand. That's doing enough. Critical sadly doesn't land the shot, giving Pulse a great opportunity to really punish him in this one. And now the rest of the T side should be able to work something off the back of this.
Aaron with Red Snake just behind him. This is a great position from Red Snake actually. Round after round, we've seen Team Xenex get caught from interesting positions like this. I know that Red Snake does love to sit on a server by himself from time to time, discover these little boosts where he can take his opponents by surprise. And here it is. This is what I spoke about earlier. Rattlesnake knows how weak Team Infused's mid defense has been so far, and mid is so crucial on a map like Cash. It gives you access to short, which could potentially allow you to kill the guy on quad or take him by surprise and push the A-bomb site from another avenue, or maybe even get Vents control, which is probably what they're going to do now. Get Vents control, get Checkers control, and hit the B-bomb site from both angles.
Can they make it work? Shiki's got the rotate, but will they expect HudsG and Zed still to be here? Zed has picked up the fallen AWP of Critical. Now he needs to put it to great use. HudsG watching the cross. I don't think they've seen many of them with only 10 seconds. They've got to make a play, and that's exactly what the T side are doing. Bursting in towards the B side. They've got control. They've got the bomb down. And that was a very well needed round and a very well executed round from Xenex.
Yeah, it was Navi-esque as well, leaving it to the final seconds. But unfortunately, Critical, even though he had that AWP on the B bomb site, you mentioned it, where he didn't have any armor. He literally got hit twice and he was basically dead. So it definitely was an interesting decision from them to give the AWP to Critical rather than Zed. And in this situation here, Red Snake can't really do much. He's just got to hope for an exit frag, maybe trade that M4 out for the slightly more powerful AK-47. But the bomb will go off on the B bomb site. And it is going to be another Xenex round. And so far, based off what we've seen, Xenex, their heads didn't drop. They kept on fighting. And they're well and truly back in it now.
Most certainly are. They're starting to pick up rounds here and there. And you can see it just in comparison to before. 2 plants now, looking comfortable, getting the round win back to back. Money-wise, they've got the double up in play. They're building some good bank to fall back to if they need to. And everything's starting to look a little bit better. Just need to see how much they can really push that further than this now. Nice little 8-6 scoreline wouldn't be a bad thing, but 3 players on this A site really stacked out from the CTs. Even though they're down to just pistols, they do have that retained M4 on towards Red Snake, and it looks like Xenex might just be walking into a bit of a trap here if all these players actually pull off the shots. Rattlesnake hears the bullets, he hears those pistols, and instantly looks for another option.
Yeah, Pulse, unfortunately, getting the frag onto Red Snake, so that's the M4 down for Infused. So it's only pistols for Infused, bar the M4 that Pulse may pick up. But why pick it up when you've got an AWP? Rattlesnake, he has a hitch that someone might be hiding behind yellow. Throws the Molotov to try and clear it out. The CTs, they're not showing anything. They need to try and force them out now, Team Xenex. 45 seconds to go, and the push comes in. Mole to lead the charge and to get the first frag as well. Searching for Zed, catches his head, and there is the frag. 4 versus 1 now. Critical, he managed to actually salvage Red Snake's M4, and he's probably going to, well, I was going to say he's probably going to try and save it, but we know what Critical's like.
Don't know what you mean. I'd never
Typical
follow that
Critical.
phrase up. Hey, the thing is though, that's the danger, isn't it? Right? When you get a player that's, I wouldn't say confidence-based, but goes off a lot of how the momentum feels. Like if he feels he wants to take that shot, if he wants to go for it.
That's
Sometimes
totally
it's great,
yeah.
but sometimes you can also lose out on a weapon that you kind of need. It's just kind of that balance of the player that you have to pick. But anyway, into this one. 8-6 now. Xenex really started to turn up, and they've got the triple AWP here. That's something that we haven't seen that much of. I don't know what to make of this. Is this a little bit too overzealous?
Well, Pulse is just going to stay outside the B bomb site and catch anyone if they decide to rotate through T-spawn, so he's the lurker, sort of playing that get-right role and watching his teammates back. But that is a rifle down for Team Xenex. We see Mole now just searching this quad area towards the A bomb site, hoping that he can see just a glimpse of the CT to get the opening frag. But so far, Team Infused, they're just playing this by the book. They're just hiding, not showing anything.
And this is going to be turning its attention towards B very quickly. 2 players already here, though. Hudshi lining up that flash, looking for it. Going to pop over now. Zed goes for the peek off the back, and it works out. Shiki goes down. Zed looks for another, gets it. Beautiful shot from Zed. Spins up, follows up with Pulse. That's 3, and looking for his 4th. I think he saw Mole. I think he saw him, and he certainly has. Finished off in the end by Critical. A very well played out round individually for Zed. But overall, let's take this scoreline into account. What can we take away from it?
9-6, if Team Infused can win their pistol, then they'll most likely find themselves in a very comfortable position. But for Team Xenex now, as far as they're concerned, they have to win this pistol and even it up at 9-9, and to give them the small financial advantage as well. But going on to that last round of the second half, I think the Team Xenex triple AWP buy came to bite them in the backside, to be fully honest with you. Zed was on that B-bomb site with the M4, and they were rushing in with AWPs, and unfortunately they just weren't versatile enough. And as far as Team Infused are concerned here, they're going to send Critical towards A, and then are we going to see a B fake? Because the bomb has been left at the back of the B-bomb site.
This is like 2 fakes essentially working out. You've got the CT stack here, and then the T side are waiting for the push out, which is actually coming their way. So Critical's there, Red Snakes pushed down A, but then surely eventually Xenex goes, well, why is the bomb not down? Where is it? What's going on? Critical's getting kills, and actually they're starting to rotate, and Pulse is going to be screaming back to his team saying, guys, get back to B. They're coming right now, and they are on the very route to get this one done. JT's on site, they're waiting, but don't, are they rotating through mid? Oh, this is beautiful from Infused, dragging the CTs left, right, and center, and they have A under control. The one man to stop him is Mole. He gets one, but that's not enough.
And the beauty about it is the guy who boosted everyone else into vents is still creeping up behind them. But no, he has decided to go back through T-spawn. But Xenex here, still outnumbered, but not anymore. Shiki comes in with the headshot, and this retake may very well be on the cards. Hoods now needs to make sure he stays hidden. Him and Aaron have a decent crossfire. Hood spots it. Aaron throws the flashbang. It's 5-7 versus P2000, but JT gets the frag, and it's all down to the ex-London Mint man, and he cannot do it. And after such a beautiful round from Team Infused, they throw it all away as Shiki demolishes them with that pistol. 9-7, and that pistol round so important now for Team Xenex.
Game on now, 9-7. That was what you said they needed, and they've got it. And look straight towards Infused as well. They've gone for the buy-in. They want to change this round. They're not happy with that. They want to go back in and challenge. This is what we see time and time again. Teams just heavily investing into this. And I want to see what they make this one really come through with. Smoke lined up towards A. Gonna drop that one out. Just going to sit just towards the back so they can cross and not be seen by that truck. But the one man who could was Mole, and he goes down. He gets Critical, I guess, but it was a worthy investment for that 1-for-1 exchange. It gets them the site. Bomb can go down. Rattlesnake has an inch of a view, but it's not enough, and the bomb will be flying for main, and they can back up and just support that.
Yeah, solid stuff from Team Infused. The short smoke as well proving so important, and also it covered up anything Shiki potentially going to look out from the truck, but he is going to charge in. He's the first man to charge in, but these FAMASs and SMGs are still very, very, very difficult to shut them down, even with the Tech 9 armor buy. It's a good plant, but Zed, who's the door player, and Beaton is going to come in. But Team Infused, I think they'll still be happy because they planted the bomb nonetheless. But they've still got a eco because they bought up armor in the last round, so they've just about evened up their money, and we'll probably see AKs come the next round.
Wouldn't be too surprised. Team Xenex, though, looking on the other side of things. M4s, a couple of FAMASs, and we do see the mollies in play with Mon. I'm kind of curious what he wants to do with this. Maybe just buy time, maybe just put it out towards Squeaky if needed. But it's all in rush. This is pretty damn drastic. And waiting in the vent, way in the wings is Shiki. Only gets one, and then from the back, you can see it. Shiki there just doing what he can, trying to dance with Critical here. The bomb is down. They know where it is, and all of a sudden the team is folding in towards them. But Infused have the sight.
They do, and Critical needs to prioritize the bomb plant here, because if they lose it Infused, then they'll get an extra $800 each, but it looks like they may very well win it. They've only got P250s, but we've seen them do this before. The question at hand is, are we going to see them do it again? Aaron versus Mole. Here's him coming from his right. It's FAMAS up against only this pistol, but the bomb is ticking. All Aaron has to do is play for time, but the headshot just about comes in with the FAMAS. And Team Xenex, again, just about winning the round up against an Infused Eco. But both this round and the last round were very, very close, considering Team Infused were only on pistols.
So damn close. Rattlesnake going to be going in for that AWP now. Looking like he wants to get it back in rotation and on towards the T side. No AWPs in play. Full rifles, lots of mollies, lots of utility. I'm kind of interested by Infused on the T side. We saw a lot of character play that was pointed out on the analysis desk with how Rattlesnake will, kind of keep the team rotating. They like to do these fake plays. They like to use their smokes. They like to use the map. And now I want to see from the other perspective what it's really like here, because Critical's the one starting to actually go looking. He's been fairly aggressive. Pulse going to be forced out of that vent very soon. Critical is just waiting for that. The molly burning him down to 72. Not a bad start. Perfect beginning though from Critical, opening things up. But they need to still be cautious here. They think it's clear because they put the molly. It's not. Pulse is still waiting. Spots him out. Oh my god, he's surrounded on front. He gets taken down. That could have been huge. But now just 3 players up for the CT side. The bomb is on the site, and they've got a long way to go to get this one back.
Aaron blows JT to smithereens, and Rattlesnake, he's probably going to save this AWP. It's $4,750. It's really not worth the investment, and he lacks so much versatility to try and retake that B bomb site, which is all about close quarters and corners. So when you try to retake, for example, in his position, he'd have to go through vents. So right decision from Xenex. But Team Infused, it was a great entry frag to get the B-bomb site in the first place. And I feel so sorry for Pulse, because he came through the vents, but his timing just got muddled up, because he was in a great position to do a lot of damage on the flank.
And it was almost, in theory, it was great. They put the molly in towards the vents, and therefore assumed it was clear. Obviously, you can sit slightly further back. I don't think it went far enough into the vent to completely kind of encompass it. He took about 30 HP damage, which is absolutely fine, but not enough to force him out. So he was able to just sit there and wait. And as soon as they got that first kill, Critical opened it. It should have been him to clean, but sadly not the case for them. But 10-9 is the score now. Xenex just behind. And Rattlesnake and Mole with those 2 guns. What can they do with them? 4 rifles around on the other side of things. Rattlesnake's time to go hunting. You can see these mollies just placed perfectly at their feet. Shiki will be laying away here. He might be checked upon him. Actually, Zed just walks over his head. How did he not check that? But this doesn't matter. The push is towards A.
It is. JT, my friend, they're coming towards you. Let's see what you can do. AK's rushing in. He's only got a P2000. Just not enough firepower on him. Pulse with only a pistol. And really, it's all down to Shiki and Rattlesnake to try and do this. Oh, Shiki with no armor. Again, it won't surprise me if Team Xenex fall back, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
Exactly that. Shiki, he got pretty close, and he might just watch his Xenex, but as you said, no armor, so he couldn't really sustain if he got himself into a nice little spray down backer. But ooh, the jig is up a little bit there. Shiki does take down Aaron, so denying an easy save up for the T side. He's got to be a little bit cautious here, though. He's trying to keep these T players as close to the bomb as possible, but here comes Critical, 1 HP hero, and it does pay off. Rattlesnake now will stay alive, keep the AWP in play for the CTs. But Team Infused finding their form every now and then. Yeah,
definitely. And I want to see Team Xenex try and change up the position of Rattlesnake and his AWP. At the moment, he's mainly been trying to control mid. And most of the attacks from Team Infused, based off of what we've seen so far, have been towards that A-bomb site. From Team Infused have been towards that A-bomb site where the smokes go over, they smoke off CT spawn, they smoke off the short area. And I want to see him sit maybe at the truck, try to use the AWP to get the entry frags, and there he is. He has gone to the A-bomb site. He has finally gotten an opening frag for the CTs. It's 4 versus 4. This favors the Ts a lot more than it does the CTs, and they've only got pistols. So let's see what happens.
CT side 100% need a kill back here. You can see that they're not in a great position money-wise either. They've got, what, some 5.7s, a P250, and that AWP still in play. It's going to be Shiki to do this. Perfect flash, 3 players blinded. He got the damage, but no kills to follow. Pulse then takes it upon himself. Tries to do what he can with that 5.7, rattling off shots. He's buying time, he's keeping them in place, and soon the cavalry will arrive. And there we go, Rattlesnake's got himself onto the site and begins to do what he does best. But is there the time for the rotate? I think they're going to take it all the way over towards A.
Yeah, the call came in for Infused that the CTs had rotated round. And Team Xenex, how are they going to approach this? They've left one person on the B bomb site, and Mole looks like he's going to juggle between the 2 bomb sites. But if Mole gets killed here, which is very likely because he only has a P250, then it's going to be incredibly tough for Rattlesnake yet again, and he could just opt to save the AWP. Mole will hear the bomb plant coming in now, so he's just going to wait for Rattlesnake to rotate round to help him out. Meanwhile, he's going to try and sneak through this smoke and see if he can get a decent position.
And he's getting good information though. He's not seen anyone push to quad, like close, and they know there's one at main. Rattlesnake's still a little cautious. He does need to check that one out. He knows where Red Snake is, instantly turns to face Aaron, but the spray down comes in, and Infused start to build a much stronger lead now.
Looking good for Team Infused. Fortunately, Team Xenex can still just about afford to buy quite a lot of smokes from them. I'd like to see them use more Molotovs on the CT side to slow down the T pushes coming in, because Team Infused sometimes are one of those teams who like to leave things late, particularly over towards the B bomb site. It's something they did a lot in the last I series. So let's see what their approach is going to be this time. Critical's going to go towards A main. He's just going to hold this angle to make sure no CTs go aggressive. And now they're pushing in. They've got control of A main. He's probably going to try and peek quad and see if he can get an opener onto one of the Team Xenex players.
Sadly, however, no one's there. Xenex playing a little bit off Apex almost, I guess you could say. Playing one at the back of A site and one by Forklift. And Critical's to be left looking. These flashes have been pretty on point. Knows where they're coming from though. Smoke will keep him guessing. Nice little nade coming out to the feet towards JT, but not being able to deal much damage here, and T-side not committing yet.
Nope, but I'll tell you what, Team Xenex definitely are. 4 players almost rotating round towards the A bomb site. 2 on short, 1 playing from the truck, and we've got one of the players who completely left the B bomb site. But they are in fact heading towards the A bomb site. Flashes raining in now. Team Xenex look to try and repel the attack, repel Aaron and co as they push in. Aaron, there is the frag with the AK-47, and down Xenex fall, and this retake doesn't look like it's going to materialize.
No, certainly not. Great entry work coming out from the T side. Slow, methodical at the beginning. Smokes and mollies put into place, working out where these players were and where they weren't. And in the end, Infused just steamroller through. Well, looking at the scores, let's see who's starting to step up for these teams. HudsG is having a great beginning here. And sadly, the question we asked earlier, is Rattlesnake going to find that form? So far, not really. He's read the game well, there's no disputing that. His in-game positioning has been second to none. However, he's not had that high-impact play we saw coming in so early on in those previous games.
Team Infused, this is what they thrive off, confidence, particularly players like Critical. And when they've got these big guns up against the CTs just echoing, they can't help but have a heck of a load of confidence under their belts. He's just going in without a care in the world, checking all his angles, trying to get the AWP frags, and HudsG is going to chime in as well with a headshot, and this is starting to get messy for Xenex.
It really is. One by one they're peeking, and one by one they're being taken down. Red Snake are doing extraordinarily light work for Pulse, and now the last man standing is Mole, and he's not exactly in a great spot here, considering the bomb is in mid though, and it's going to be mid. It's not great. Critical knows where he is, and Critical will always deliver in those situations. Big round for him, 3 kills, even if it was against a rather poor CT side. But they are back on the buy, and what do you think Xenex need to do here? What just seems to be missing from this sort of CT side?
They need to win 2 or 3 consecutive rounds, first of all, to try and break the Team Infused economy. And like I said, I want to see them use more Molotovs. I want to see them play Infused at their own game, go a lot more aggressive.
Rattlesnake just went towards B, exactly where Pulse is going with his AWP, then looked towards A, and then went back to mid. Is
Lack
this
of communication, maybe.
I was about to say, and the one player that can tilt and does tilt is Rattlesnake. You don't want to put him in that sort of position this early on. You're in map 1. This has got 3 maps possibly to go, and quite worrying to see that sort of thing happening. But still, Maybe just a little bit of an error at the start of the round, nothing too much to be read into. But let's see how this one unfolds. Team Infused are down a player, so we'll have to work something together here.
There's a pop flash out of mid, potentially. Blind Rattlesnake. But this double attempt from Xenex, how's it going to pay off? Rattlesnake, that's good stuff from him, but the call is going to come in, and that gives Vents control to Team Infused. Are they going to use it? Are they going to head towards the B-bomb site where they know Pulse is with that second AWP, where they know he's already gotten the frag? Or are they going to go to A? JT, this is the aggression I said I wanted to see from Xenex, and it's paying off for them. He'll put that Molotov down, and it'll allow him to buy a bit of time. But Team Xenex, it's almost like they have their hearts set on this B-bomb site. 3 players have rotated over here.
Yeah, Hudgy's just going to be pinned to the wall from that. And Zed now left in pretty much no man's land. The bomb isn't really that close to him, but he can still pick it up without being taken down. But by that time, the clock would have probably run out pretty darn low, and already down to 20-ish seconds. He's being closed in on by every single angle. They want to get that AWP away. And can you blame him? Zed's been pretty darn on point so far. JT will be the first! And a great shot from Zed coming out, but not quite enough to change the round.
Nope, but the good news is that they know his position, and are they going to try and push him? That's the question. The answer is no. They don't want to lose any more of these weapons because Team Xenex, as we already mentioned, their finances weren't looking too great. But hey, 1 round on the board, good stuff. Win another, get yourselves back on the front foot, get the confidence flowing, and I honestly think by playing an aggressive defense on the CT side, by making sure they're the first team getting the frags on the board, that's the kind of play that will give them the confidence that at the moment they crave.
JT's straight up here, not messing around. The players are actually going B. If he plays this correctly, he's going to be in a perfect spot. The smoke's still in mid. He's not being checked on. Red Snake can't check this, and no one's really looking right now. I think it's on just turn, but that molly going down, he's going to have to commit. The call will come out, and he does. He pounces. That's 1 player down. That's Zed gone. Another T-side just getting pinned in left, right, and center.
Yeah, but there it is. The aggression in Vents is all Xenex need, because individually they're such great aimers. And Team Infused, we've spoken about it a lot in the UK team. They are one of those teams who do get complacent when they're in the lead, and sometimes when they push bomb sites, they forget to check crucial angles, almost like they start to feel the pressure, particularly when they knew they were in such a driving seat based on the scoreboard, but now they're worried that it's all going to fall away from them, and it is going to leave Hudgy all by himself. He's being pushed from his left, and there is the frag, and you can see how much it means to Shiki.
He really wants this win. Like, these guys are rivals. They have played in the same teams together, but, you know, once you form into 2 separate teams, it's like, well, I've got to beat my old teammates, right? It's that instant rivalry you want to have going. You want to have that victory, and hopefully they can bring this one closer. It did look like it was starting to slip away with Xenex on their CT side, but they picked up the pieces, pulled themselves together, and the sheer versatility that Rattlesnake's showing right now is quite impressive. I was hoping he'd go for that aggressive peek, maybe towards Squeaky then, but just advised himself against it, fell back towards quad, and now he's just watching Amen.
Yeah, and Critical knows that Rattlesnake loves to use this smoke where he can just see a gap of the feet of any terrorist coming in, which is why he keeps on jumping, so that Rattlesnake has no idea he's there, but they definitely know he's there now. Molotov going in. Are we having barbecued Rattlesnake tonight? He still just about survives it. Flashbang going out, and the smoke's onto short. Mole is literally helpless. He can't do anything. Rattlesnake hits the floor. That's the AWP down, and Team Xenex, they're 1 man down already, and the A-bomb site belongs to Infused.
4 players just rushed in a Rattlesnake, every single one of them pushing in towards quad. And sometimes it's just what you got to do. If you overwhelm an AWP like that, he's going to have so little to achieve. The retake has begun, however, but now down to the last 2 men in this. Pulse and Mole doing the damage, but not enough. Zed does have the nade, and that's Infused getting on towards map point. This is just map 1. We can still go all the way here. And if we were going to review our predictions, is this going the way you thought?
Nope. I actually thought Team Xenex would. Well, actually, in a way it is. I thought Team Xenex would win 2-1 and that Infused would win cash. So
it's all about the next maps for you, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to rule out my entire predictions just yet, even though I am wrong most of the time.
Hey, this cast is curse rather than ignorance, don't worry. That's what I chalk it up to. Ah, Sam then going for the little shot down towards Squeaky. He knows there was a player there as well, just not going to get the shot through. And I'm not sure if it was Hudgy. It might have been Hudgy. He actually tagged him up as well. That's the impressive part. But the smokes go towards A. Not sure if they're going to actually commit off this. And it looks like they may be rotating, and quite luckily so. Shiki was watching that. But now JT's taken over. Where's JT playing? Oh, he's in the vents. No surprise there. And once again, the T side just lacking numbers now. JT goes for the push, and now it's just Critical.
Yep, all by himself, and he's going to see if he can get an entry somewhere on this A-bomb site. He's got Rattlesnake waiting for him. If the battle of the AWP is there towards Squad, and Rattlesnake is going to win that battle. And at this point forwards, we know how much of a quality player, we know how good Rattlesnake is, both from his CSGO days, his early days with the Nexus, and his previous days where he was at the top of his game in CS Source. Team Xenex, in this kind of situation, they need someone as good as him. They need someone with his experience to really step it up and lead the charge to at least overtime at this point, because Team Infused are on 15 rounds. So let's see whether Rattlesnake can be the man to instigate the comeback for Xenex.
I really hope so. And these are the mollies we were discussing, the way you can put the placement in, the map control you can gain off the back of it. And it does look like actually a firm A is actually going to be played out here. Indies have got the smokes. Great counter molly, going to slow down Hudgy. He cannot push with the rest of the side. The players at main are going to be in trouble as Mole was just waiting. He gets two, JT gets a third, and the T side are being held in their tracks right now. It's down to Hudgy and Zed, but they're still going at this, and now it's a 3v2. Suddenly it's game back on.
Game on indeed. There is the man I said needed to chime in, and he is going to get a kill. And to add insult to injury, gets one with the CZ75 as well. And at this point here, Team Infused are probably going to eco. They should eco, in fact. Maybe just buy a Tech 9, a P250 each, or something along those lines. Just Aaron is.
Okay.
No, Hoods is as well. Come on, surely they're not going to do this. I think they've just about got enough money to invest. Just about, yeah, next round. And it's most likely going to turn 16, 15, 14, and it's all going to come down to the final round. And they're running into Pulse.
Pulse is there and waiting. He's got backup, he's got friends, and one of them is Shiki, spraying down wildly. It doesn't work out well, but Pulse, that's three! Looking for the fourth, and gets it! Beautifully played by Pulse. Individually, outstanding rounds, and he wants to take this to overtime. He wants to take his team there. He doesn't want to give up on this map yet. He doesn't think it's over. The T side, they just had enough money to reinvest into this one, but not with a great deal of utility. It's a very, very shoddy amount.
That's why I think we were both surprised. I mean, Hoods, G, and Aaron were the two players who invested in armor in the last round, but they've only got a smoke to work with. No flashes, no Molotovs to clear out corners when you are on the T side. And flashes and Molotovs are such an essential part, especially on a map like Cash with so many corners.
That nade from JT just took Aaron and Critical both down like 50 HP.
Are we going to overtime? Let's see what Rattlesnake thinks. Spots someone towards the door, but the Team Infused players, the soldiers, march on towards the A-bomb site. There's a burst from Rattlesnake, but Hoods, G, and Aaron get two, but it is going to be Aaron to burn to the ground, thanks to Shiki, as he dodges and dives towards the AKs on this A-bomb site.
Mole is behind.
They have no idea he's there.
Oh my god, if Mole plays this right, he can change the whole game here. Gets down the first, he knows where Hudgy is. This looks like we're going overtime, and we are! Xenex turning up, that is unbelievable. They look down and out. As soon as Infused got those 15 rounds, I was like, well, Xenex just looking a little bit shoddy, looking a little bit weak here and there. But they just went above and beyond. That's not something you see every day.
No, it's not, and Team Xenex looked weak, and the style of Counter-Strike which they were playing was really, really weak. As soon as they changed it up, started using Molotovs more, running down the clock, and going really, really aggressive. Like we saw a round where JT pushed all the way towards the end of A main. So later on in the round, because Team Infused love late executions, when they rotated back round to A main to try and dedicate over to the A bomb site, they simply couldn't because JT had it under control. It's this aggressive, in-your-face style that Xenex have the players to utilize and need to utilize up against Team Infused.
And it looks like they want to take that mid control again. They did this when they went to B before. There's that line of smoke straight through mid that allows you to get towards the vents. And Red Snake starting to head towards it. There's already a few players from the CT side here, though. Pulse being one of them with Shiki, and you can already hear those AWP shots coming out from Rattlesnake. Going to go and support the rest of the team on towards this site. This is going to be a massive round here. Pulse, Rattlesnake all ready and waiting. The team starting to push. Shiki's already found Zed. He's gone for more. He wants blood, and he's going to get it. Stunning play again. Xenex riding out that high that they came in with to this overtime and picking up the first round.
And the main issue there from Team Infused was they decided to dedicate over towards the B bomb site, but they didn't leave anyone towards the A bomb site. It was pretty clear what was happening, which is why by the time Team Infused actually hit the bomb site, there were 3 Xenex players ready and waiting towards the B bomb site, because it is so fast for the CTs like the mid player to rotate over towards B, or the short player, one of the A guys to rotate over towards mid. But look at this, Shiki, is he going to boost Mole? He is, and this is great from Xenex, and I'm not sure Team Infused know what's coming in here.
Oh my god.
They have no idea. Mole comes in. There's the first, and is he going to go for more? He's hungry for it. HudsG so low on HP, but Team Infused right now, more like Team Confused.
Being pushed left, right, and center. We're going to see the counter boost, or the standard boost, I guess you could say. Seeing what they can find. I wonder if Mole's going to check it right above him. There's Red Snake. Mole is doing wonders. How the hell are Infused not checking this? How are they not looking? Finally, he goes down. Zed takes it upon himself to pull his team back together, because that was starting to look so goddamn sloppy. 2 players left on A for the CD side, 1 towards B, and Infused look like they're walking right into this.
And they'll be walking right into the crosshair of JT if they're not careful. Rattlesnake, he's rotated, he's left mid. He's stood behind the truck to see if any T's stampede in from A main, but it's very, very slow from Team Infused. They're trying to clear things out, but it is going to be Zed to be the first man in. They've got to speed it up. Only 18 seconds left on the clock, and there is the walking into the crosshair of JT that I was talking about. Team Xenex, they started off that round so strong. It looked like Team Infused were going to get back into it, but they just about managed to salvage the round. 17-15.
Yeah, and I think we just saw, it was Rattlesnake actually picking up his mouse and kind of looking at that one, so maybe having some issues there, I'm not sure. It looks like actually it was Red Snake who called it in, so I don't know, maybe Infused just need to have a chat right now, because I wish I knew what just happened. It went from 100 miles an hour in favor to Infused. They just looked so dominant, and then it stopped, and it was just unbelievable how quickly it changed.
It was me, my big mouth, saying that my prediction of Infused winning cash was going to come true. It's my fault. Sorry, Infused. But here we go. Pause is still here. Shiki's asking if he can get water if it's only for commercials.
What a great meme. Well played.
Yeah.
Thank meme.
Shout out to Alu, if you happen to be watching some brilliant UKCS.
He's just
Which I'm sure he is, of course.
Of course. Why wouldn't he?
Like, yeah, exactly.
You know? I'm sure they're around somewhere, but no, good old fake Red Bulls. I don't think I've ever seen a fake Red Bull, to be fair, if I'm honest. I've been to a couple of these events, I've never seen fake props, but I love the way he actually did ask. Anyway, we are back into this. 15-17, we're in overtime. And at the moment, it's certainly been the Xenex show, but that small break, what has the T side been able to repair? What can they bring to the play here? They're doing the standard A smokes a lot faster, and maybe they're trying to throw it off, trying to say, oh yeah, it's just a very obvious fake, don't look this way, and then just do that later bit of presence. But Mole knows what's up, he's having none of this. JT watching the cross from shore, look at that flash, catching 3 players, and now Team Infused want to commit.
Yeah, the beautiful thing about this is that Xenex didn't leave anyone on the A-bomb site, so they're going to allow Team Infused to get the plant down, but as soon as the retake comes in, the charge from Xenex is going to be unbelievable. There's all 5 of them still left standing, and there's only so many places where Team Confused can hide from this.
Yeah, looking at these guys, they're a little in corners, to say the least. You can see them all just trying to stay alive. JT makes the first move. Mole's Molly will pay off, and it's going to be a very clean round coming out from Infused. Waiting for this one, Aaron spraying away, but it's critical to claim 2. And they actually lock it down, even in such a tough spot. That's quite impressive.
Yeah, they didn't over-peak, and when they did peak, they peaked together. Because, of course, when you do have the bomb down, and you do get in great after-plant positions, that is basically what happens. But Team Infused, I've seen a lot of Team Infused, and one thing myself and Hoss mentioned in the qualifiers, we spoke about it in depth, was that a lot of the time they'd plant the bomb and then they'd end up peeking one by one, and then they'd feed the CTs those frags and openings on towards the bomb sites. But Rattlesnake so aggressive here, and just about misses the AWP shot, very unlike him. He's got to now reposition, misses critical by inches, and it's just not going for Rattlesnake right now. But finally, there is the frag he was craving, and it's advantage Xenex so far.
Yeah, Pulse is already there. Critical tries to make up for it then by going for that peek towards main, but I put my money on Rattlesnake in this one. I don't know, it's going to be tough for these boys to pull it through now, but Critical wants to try this out. They've got to be a little cautious because Rattlesnake has a lot of freedom here. He could come around the back and catch him. Misses again. You can't be missing shots like that. He needs to land these. It's opened it back up for the T side, who have got that pick towards mid. JT going down. It's going to make this far more difficult.
Aaron just toying around from A main, and the two Infused players at mid, they're most likely going to go up short, and that's exactly where they're going. But Rattlesnake is prepared for them. That nade just explodes at the feet of Critical, and he has no skull anymore. Rattlesnake chimes in with the AK-47, puts G into 1 versus 3, and they know exactly where he is, and they're going to shut him down sometime soon.
They should do. I don't see it in any way, shape, or form how he can do this unless he hit a shot like that. But Mole in the end does come through. So, last round of the first half here, of overtime, should I say. 18-16. CT side, is that good enough, do we reckon, for Xenex in comparison to how they were playing in, let's say, normal time?
I think they've done okay so far. If they can get 19-16, then I definitely fancy him to take the win, and what a comeback it would be. But again, Cash, such an evenly sided map, but who knows what might happen. And talking about what's happening, Critical with the AWP kill onto Pulse, that could be huge for Team Infused as they look to fight on. Rattlesnake, he was on the A-bomb site last time round, now he's over to the A-bomb and on the B-bomb site, but JT going aggressive in main. Hudgy makes him pay the price for going so aggressive, and Team Infused, they're a man up, and they've got good positions to take this A-bomb site now.
They really do. Mole's going to actually push himself in there a little bit, actually slow down in case they try to go for that quick plan off the back of those picks, but still one on board. There's a lot of time to work with here. The T-side don't need to over-rush this. The Molly will come back down into place, and now they know Mole cannot escape. Mole is tucked in towards Quad, and his teammates are going to have to bail him out of this one, and they are doing just that. Rattlesnake comes in like a hero and just saves him from Red Snake trying to push across, and Mole will live to fight another day. But the same to be said on the B side. Shiki will find Zed, and it may make it a little bit harder now for the remaining two to actually do some work.
Have Infused realised that it's only Zed on the B-bomb site by himself. One of the two CTs is rotated to mid to just sort of float between the two bomb sites. Oh, when he spotted Critical. And I think now Mole knows exactly what's going to be coming, but they've got to be able to shut off Rattlesnake from CT spawn. It's going to be Hud's G to go for it. There is the smoke, but Rattlesnake gets the shot, and now 1 versus 3. What can Critical do? He's been spotted. He's going to try and plant, but he was absolutely surrounded. A solid, solid half for Team Xenex. And maybe, just maybe, if they can start off this T side well, build a bit of confidence, the comeback may be real.
A couple of rounds, and Xenex have done it. I'm trying to think back to the T side. What do we make of their T side? I'm trying to recall how they played. Was it was slightly lacking on occasion. It seemed like they started off well enough being able to drag the CTs around the place, but then just occasionally it fell apart, and I personally couldn't tell you as to why. It looked like they knew what was up, and this is going to be the mid-peak, I believe, coming out. It's something I saw Fnatic really doing on quite a regular occasion, just so they can get some mid-control towards the kind of white box there. And
there it is!
You can see it work. Rattlesnake lands out. That's a really nice adaptive play that Critical just didn't even consider.
And the mid pick is so crucial on a map like Cash because there's now 4 CTs, which means either a B player or an A player probably has to fall back and go a little bit more passive from the bomb site to prevent any Ts infiltrating CT spawn, which of course we saw Rattlesnake do early on.
I wonder, is Xenex be able to make this play? And you were saying that Rattlesnake likes these smokes where they just give themselves a touch of vision, but you just see the feet and you're able to make the shot off the back of it. Set himself up something very similar. Just seeing if anyone was pushing through. And so far, he could be the linchpin, and the linchpin is actually pulling its weight. Zed finding Rattlesnake will slow this push down. I'm curious if they're going to go off the back of this. If JT can make something happen here, it might change the game plan. There's still 30 seconds left, and it doesn't matter. He goes down. The 3 remaining players are going to struggle here.
Yeah, they are. It's not the first time we see Zed try and hold his B-bomb site all by himself, and he is going to get a hat-trick. You can see what it means to him. You can see Critical there on the end, just cheering the rest of Infused on. Great round from Zed. We didn't really see him get too many frags on the T side either, so it's great that he managed to build some confidence on the CT side. But you pointed it out, Pamsy, Team Xenex, 3 AWPs on this T side.
I think it's almost too extreme. You know, when you've got JW and Olaf in your team, I get why you have 2 AWPs. All right, Mole, Pulse, and Rattlesnake, you're kind of pushing your luck at this point, but I guess if you got the money, why not make it count?
But last time they went for the triple AWP setup, it didn't work for them whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe their plan got kind of halted. Maybe that slight touch of aggression that came out from Red Snake just kind of threw him off a little bit. I don't know. We'll have to see if they can build something from this, because I'm a little A little dubious that this is going to work, but I'm going to stick with them just to see what they do with this, see what control they try and gain. Oh, Rattlesnake, that was just sexy counter-strike. Sadly can't get the shot off, but Shiki will. And looking for more now. As the rest of the T side starting to make this work a little bit.
Yeah, Xenex edging closer and closer to victory. They've got the mid control here. Could see a flash go over towards short and have one of the Orbers try and pick someone on quad. I think Mole may have in fact dinked Aaron. He's only on 24 points of health, but Red Snake is going to chime in on the rotation, and now the A push is going to come in. The molly should drop Aaron. They've got to be careful. There's a player coming from CT spawn.
Oh, let's find out if it's going to actually hurt them in this. Rattlesnake actually switching up to the M4 in the end, and look at this again, the two Orbs left in play, just struggling to make the impact. Aaron still stands. He should have gone down ages ago, but somehow stayed alive. The bomb is now not to hand. Pulse will probably die crossing for this, and he knows it. He's got the information, but he's going to have to kill 3. They lined up for a second, and my heart skipped a beat, but not going to be the case. Red Snake just puts him down with a pistol, and I'm still not sold on this triple AWP play. I can see they clearly have a plan for it. They clearly like running it for a reason, but we've really not seen it actually work out so far.
I agree. And they've done the exact opposite this time round. It's a massive contrast. No AWPs this time, and 5 AK-47s. And this gives them so much more versatility. They can up the tempo a little bit because you are much more slower when you have the AWP. So let's see what's going to happen. They could very well throw the smokes over, maybe try and fake the A, go towards B, which is something we saw them do quite often in normal time. But it's actually Pulse on the B side of the map by himself. Smokes going over to A, and Team Xenex scourging up towards A main and mid. So it could very well be an A split, and with critical rotating and leaving mid empty, this could go bad for Team Infused.
Exactly that. If Xenex read this correctly, they will abuse the hell out of me because they'll be like, well, Crystal's not here anymore, it's open for the taking. They still got to deal with the players on towards B, but they've had a fairly free route here, but Hudgy had an astounding hold on towards the side last time we witnessed it. He's got Zed in support. Zed is locking that cross down. How the hell they didn't flash or smoke it is beyond me, but now it's in Pulse's hands. Otherwise, it's going to be all square, all even again, and Pulse is left in a dire predicament, but he's working out of it, and he's doing work every single step of the way. Critical and Aaron, if they let this slip, they'll be furious, but Critical denies, and you can see that was a big round coming in for Infused.
2 more rounds in this overtime to go.
What is with English teams in overtime?
I don't know.
I get nervous when I see this.
It's something to do with Xenex, because it was the Xenex Easy Skins game that went to like 80 odd rounds, wasn't it?
Oh. Please don't make me do 80 rounds. I don't think I can handle it. But 19-19 now. And I'm so excited to see this one work out. You can see that Xenex just seems to have so many good rounds and then just so many moments where it just seems to fall to pieces. And I want to see if they can maybe put something together very early on here. 2 players on towards site. Aaron goes over towards that MBK fence area, whatever you want to call it. Critical dedicating himself towards A rather than mid. And just not too far behind Red Snake as well, trying to support from that truck. The T side really not moving too much, maybe just looking for the opener, not trying to commit too far. And actually catching a good glimpse of Aaron then.
Yeah, they are. Are they going to smoke him off? No, Rattlesnake just with a change of mind. And wow, look at this. The AWP boost is coming in and Critical in great position to deal a lot of damage. And deal a lot of damage. He does headshot with the AWP onto Mole. And the Team Xenex, do they still have their hearts set on this A-bomb site? It looks like they do. 45 seconds on the clock. They've got to get a move on.
Got to do something. They just don't seem to be making the impact at the moment. And Aaron peeking round will find another. They've kind of snuck forward here. Rattlesnake starting to do what he can. He's trying to do the damage by himself, and he's done just that. 2 back-to-back. Can he make it 3? Still 1 more at quad. Shiki does find him. And individually, you cannot doubt Xenex, but can they hold on to this now? The big man himself, who was doing wonders on that first time we saw them go around on this map. Hudgy still alive here. And they're going back in for this one, but Rattlesnake has had enough. He's done with this. He does not want this going double overtime. He wants this done and dusted. And Zed now 1v3 is not in a position to win this one out.
No, he could go for an exit frag in his overtime. Does have quite a lot of money to work with, obviously, but
4 for Rattlesnake.
Yep, they left it for him. He's probably saying on comms, guys, I want the 4-man. I want to put my stamp down on this Team Infused side, and he's definitely left his mark on them. but they mustn't give up just yet. They've got to believe that they can reach the second overtime. It's Critical again with the AWP, something Team Infused have done a lot, or Critical rather. The last 2 rounds, he's left mid completely empty. It wasn't too much of a significant factor in the last round, but it was in the round before that, so it could be something Rattlesnake may have noticed and something he may be looking to abuse. But Xenex, bomb going towards A. JT will drop it just in case he gets spotted. He doesn't want the CTs to know the bomb's there, otherwise they'll start to close him down. And I think what Xenex will do now, their approach will be sort of a slow and steady wins the race approach. Just try and sniff out where these CTs are hiding and then try to adapt to the Infused setup.
Yeah, they've done the smokes that normally indicate they're going to go for a B play there. That's the one they use when they go through the vents, but Critical's having none of it. He's already found JT. He knows what's coming, and the smokes are not in place. He punishes them well, looks for that wallbang spot in case anyone pushes out as well from that forklift area, and Critical going big. 3 kills now. The fake on the side. He knows it and delivers. That's 4 for Critical, and now going for the ace, gets denied by Mole, but he's got 3 players willing to stand up now, and they should be able to close Mole down. There's not a chance in hell, and we're going double overtime.
Welcome to UK Counter-Strike, ladies
Welcome
and
to
gentlemen.
Critical.
Yeah, great all play. You see, when Pulse went towards the forklift, I thought, yeah, there's no way Critical's going to survive this, because he was focused on the guys on site. Critical will just, not Critical, Pulse will just strafe out from the forklift and nail Critical in the head, and he did it. That flick shot with the AWP was just phenomenal. And to think this is only the first map of the final.
Hey, I don't mind if I'm here for a while. I'm okay with this now. Maybe not the amount of overtimes you've been through, or you know, people have been through. But you know, I'm good right now. We're good, especially when I get to see this sort of caliber of play. But when Critical gets confident, Critical gets very dangerous. He does go down the style of this round, and look at Rattlesnake instantly looking to punish this. Red Snake knows. He 100% knows. And Rattlesnake waits for the aggressive peek, and look at that. He knew. He had the idea that maybe Red Snake had spotted him. He waited to see if he'd push off the back of it, try and regain that mid-control, and he punished them. And well, down to the last 2 players. We've got Hudge over at B, Aaron over by A, and it's just where does that T-side want to go? Who would they rather face right now?
Well, either way, they're going to have to face one of them. Let's see who they choose to face. It looks like they're heading towards Aaron on this A-bomb site. In fact, he's the one heading towards them. Rattlesnake heard his footsteps and landed a bullet in his face. But Hudge quick to return the favor. And you know, Shiki's quite low on HP here, and then it'll be a 2 versus 1. And Hudge, he has a Molotov. I don't know. Let's see whether he can do it. Don't rule him out just yet.
All right, let's see what you got. She said Shiki is low. JT's not perfect in this, and Mole is possibility, but they're well set up for this as well. They're perfectly waiting for this one. They may just put Shiki out there to try and peek. He knows he's the more vulnerable one, and knows it's a fake. Comes back in one by one. They may peek, but eventually they have the HP, they have the numbers, and they will win the round.
But as we've seen so far, 1 round in overtime means diddly squat, because oh my god, UKCS, ladies and gents. Critical still with that AWP. Team Xenex, no AWPs. Where are these rifles heading? 4 players heading towards A. I think that could very well, yep, it is Pulse who's going to go towards B bomb site just to make a bit of noise and try and make what Team Xenex are doing not so obvious. But no CT defense for Team Infused at mid, but Red Snake, the smoke has gone down, and the T's, if they had rushed through A main there, they may have missed them moves on the 2 entry flags, but just taking it slow are Team Xenex right now.
Yeah, they are. They're keeping it under control. Critical already put himself up by A, so he's going to have to kind of not retake short, but you know, kind of keep the attention there, because at the moment the T-side are trying to abuse this. They're definitely pushing this more and more, and it has been working.
I think they could just go through vents and head towards B.
They should do. They definitely should at this point, but then again we get to see this duo, Zed and then Henry G, Huds G, holding this one down. And now smoke's coming in, waiting on the push, still waiting on the commitment. Hudgy goes down. That's the first time they've actually had the opener towards his side that easily. Shiki doing the damage. This could be a perfect round for them.
Could, but you've spoken too soon. Critical comes in, AWP headshot again onto the same man in Pulse. Rattlesnake trying to save the day. And you know
they're
what?
behind both of them.
Exactly. They don't want to go towards the B bomb site. They're going straight towards the A bomb site. And Red Snake and Zed right now completely confused. But out comes the knife from JT. Zed catches him out. And they're playing Ringa Ringa Roses here around the map, around the world, as we used to call it back in the day. Bomb will go down on the A bomb site. And well,
Jesus.
Red Snake and Zed have one heck of a retake on their hands.
They do. It's planted for main. Mole is there. That's what he's waiting on. If Rattlesnake can take down one, it's ideal, and Rattlesnake does just that. And now Red Snake, the last man standing. Xenex just going around the map, taking us on the tour, and it was just so well played. I can't believe they managed to slip through two people, get through CT, all the way up in, and say, all right, guys, we'll just take A instead. Which is like the long route to it.
See, I could read Shiki's body language there when he just sort of sighed. That sigh just said, not this again. Because I spoke to him after their overtime, which went to 80-odd rounds, and one of the main problems that the team sort of faced was that on the T side, they ran out of ideas, they completely ran out of ideas, and I wonder if this is going to happen to the two teams this time round. Red Snake tried this the last time, couldn't capitalize on it, but Rattlesnake read him like an open book, rattled his head off, and Team Infused, there's only 4 of them left standing.
This could be a huge problem. Let's see if it becomes any worse. Pulse does get spotted, Zed will pick it up. The duo on B does it again, but can the two now on A step up similarly? Aaron's still there, Critical's still there. Critical kind of extending back down towards mid. I think he just saw those flashes and wonders who may be approaching, and already Mole comes around the corner, takes down Critical. It's going to be just Aaron to hold on, gets one, doesn't follow up with the second. The control of the A site is firmly in the T's hands. The bomb should go down, and I doubt the CTs can really question this.
Unless Zed can get this frag, which he will. And now Shiki and Rattlesnake. Is Rattlesnake going to try and use this Molotov to try and stop the Team Infused players coming in? He's going to try, but Team Infused are going to try and dodge around it. But Zed sees the head, just a glimpse of Rattlesnake's head in the corner. Now there's the pop flash. Zed will hit A main. Huz will try and go around MBK to quad. Rattlesnake is bleeding right now, but the bomb's still ticking. And Team Xenex, this is perfect play from them. They're not showing anything. Huz versus Shiki. It's a fake defuse. And I'm sorry, that bomb's going to go off. See you later, Huz. It's a Xenex round.
Xenex turning up now on their T side. A little frustrated even though. You can tell it's funny when you look at these guys, they never look too happy. You know what I mean? I've never seen Xenex looking really pleased with a round. It's like instantly you see Shiki kind of having a chat, and there's Rattlesnake kind of like chiming in every now and then. But they're doing well now. This T side from them is doing substantially better than what we saw from Infused.
Definitely. So Huz and Zed, like you always point out, the duo, and they are in fact going to boost, I think, either Zed or Huz into vents. So let's see what they can do with it. Unlike the last few rounds, Team Infused very aggressive at mid here, just trying to prevent Xenex getting any control of it, because a lot of the time, especially in the last round, we saw Mole, who pushed mid by himself, and he was the one who fragged Critical. So Team Infused, they've realized after losing so many consecutive rounds, they've got to change it up, and let's see if it's going to pay off for them.
What? Rattlesnake just spamming away and finds Critical. Fair play. Well, at least the gun's recovered, I guess. Red Snake will pick that one up, and that's a kill for free, essentially. That's absolutely fantastic for them. And now maybe they're weighing up their options. T-side is actually going to boost mid, and Huzji pushed up something that we haven't seen prior, and doesn't work out perfectly. Mole's still alive. T-side are very cautious here.
They are. They know how crucial this man advantage is, but we do have Mole, Shiki, and Rattlesnake all on very low HP. So this round may still have Infused's name on it, but the bomb is going to crawl back towards the B bomb site. JT, just like the squeaky door, to try and hold off any rotating CTs, maybe even wait to the point where he hears CT